If you spend a lot of time fishing, I'm sure you understand the convenience of having a rod holder. And I've gone through a lot of different styles from a lot of different manufacturers and have finally come to these two Paralock rod holders, one from Scotty and one from Brocraft. Because these are just rod holders, they're pretty self-explanatory, but I feel like there is a need to review or compare these two products because they are so similar, yet offer a lot of differences. In terms of sizing, I don't know if you can tell by this video, but the Scotty rod holder is significantly larger than the Brocraft. The Scotty rod holder is about an inch longer than the Brocraft, and if we look at the actual tube that holds your rod, it is noticeably bigger. To me, when it comes to using these two rod holders and we consider the sizing, I feel that the Scotty rod holder is too big, it's just too thick, and allows too much slop for the rod to move around. As you can see, when we slip the rod into the rod holder, there is just a lot of slop. And in theory, if you get this thing at just the right angle and a fish were to pull your rod, this thing is going to come flying right out. Moving to the Brocraft, as you can see, it is narrower. So when the rod tips down because of the weight of the reel, the butt end will come up a lot sooner and gives you less room for movement, making it more secure in my opinion. Now you might be thinking to yourself, I'm buying these rod holders for the Paralock system. If a fish were to pull my rod out of the rod holder, this locking system should in theory stop it from going anywhere. Now this is true if you have a bait caster or even a spin caster, because essentially your rod sits in the seat and your reel is really right here. If a fish pulls your rod, the entire rod and reel essentially slides up and slams into the Paralock, making it stop in place. If you happen to be using a spinning reel, however, as you can see, the reel actually sits before the Paralock, essentially making the Paralock system useless because it really does nothing. If a fish were to pull, it's coming out. There's nothing that's going to stop it. The only way to make the Paralock system work with a spinning reel is if you have it orientated like this. Essentially, your reel and rod goes in backwards with your reel sticking up, and once you lock the system down, it's not really going anywhere anymore. But this isn't exactly ideal, so I usually just stick my spinning reel in front of the Paralock, how it's pretty much designed to be. Moving on to the base plate, this is actually the one from the Scotty system. I don't have any other Brocraft base plates on hand because I've mounted them all to my boat, but I'll be including some clips so you can see the differences. In terms of sizing, they are the exact same in my opinion. When you hold them side by side, they line up perfectly, even the holes for the mounting screw. The main difference between the two is going to be the release lever on the Brocraft. Looking at the Scotty base plate, there is essentially a little piece of plastic that sticks out, and that little piece of plastic is meant to line up with this little notch that's cut into the actual rod holder. So if you imagine it, there's this little piece of plastic that's sticking out. You're essentially supposed to line up the notch and slip it through, and if you were to turn the rod holder and try to pull it up, it's not going anywhere, and that's essentially how this rod holder is kept inside of the base plate. The Brocraft system, on the other hand, has a release lever. Once pressed, it pretty much acts as that little piece of plastic on the base plate of the Scotty system, except this one retracts and sticks out when you press the button. In my opinion, this is a much better system. As with the Scotty, you have to go in and approach it and perfectly line up that notch with the piece of plastic, or else it's not going in or out. On the Brocraft, once you press the button, it can go in and go out, and if you don't feel like pressing the button, you can actually just push the Brocraft rod holder straight through the mount and it will actually go in, but once again you have to press the button to actually release it. So in my opinion, it is a more convenient system. One final thing I'd like to mention about the base plate system is for those people who already own a Scotty or you already own a Brocraft and you're considering buying from the other brand and wondering whether or not the base plate that you already have will work with the new brand that you're going with. And for those people, of course, I have the Scotty base plate right here. And if we take the Scotty rod holder, of course, this will work as it is designed for it if I can find the notch. So that works. Moving on to the Brocraft. Again, this works. Now you might be thinking to yourself that they are interchangeable, but they really are not. The Scotty will fit into the Scotty mount, but it will not fit into the Brocraft. And the main problem is this stem right here. Even though they look very similar, the Scotty stem is actually a lot bigger. Well, not a lot. It is bigger than the Brocraft. So that is why the Brocraft will fit into the Scotty, but the Scotty will not fit into the Brocraft. This stem is just too big for the Brocraft system. And the way that I see it as, the The Brocraft and really every other brand who makes this style of lock with these teeth right here is really copying the Scotty style, but they really don't need it, especially on the Brocraft, because it has that lever, that little release lever. It really does not need this notch at all. This notch is, in my opinion, mainly just here so it fits into the Scotty little plastic notch that it has. So to conclude that little rant, the Scotty will only work with the Scotty system, whereas the Brocraft will work with the Scotty or the Brocraft base plate. In terms of purchasing and using these rod holders, I'm sure you'll be happy with either because they are very similar in design and they work the same way, except for the base plate on the Brocraft where it has that release lever. And of course, this is the main reason why I moved to the Brocraft, because of this little notch right here. As you can see, this notch is pretty much made for users of spinning reel. Once you slip your rod with a spinning reel onto this holder, it slips right into that notch and gives it a more secure hold on your rod, or at least on your spinning reel. When I was using my Scotty rod holder with spinning reels, I just felt that because it was just sitting up here, it was just moving around a lot, and because the rod holder is so big and it allows for so much slop, the rod just moves around too much, and I didn't really felt that this was the most secure system on the market. Pricing for these two systems also vary. I got two of these Brocraft rod holders for 30 bucks, whereas two of these Scotty rod holders really ranges. They can start at around 15 and go to around 25 if you would go to a major chain like Bass Pro. So ideally you can get these for around 30 to 50 bucks, but I got two of them for 40. So in terms of pricing, the Brocraft is definitely a better deal. So if you've been paying attention, you can see that I've been very pro Brocraft in terms of these power lock rod holders. And I really do believe that this is a better system. It's cheaper and it allows you to use a more wide range of rods, just because this thing is too big unless you're going deep sea fishing with a really thick rod. This thing is just too much in my opinion. The Brocraft is just the right size. It still has a little bit of slop, but it is much more manageable than the Scotty Power Lock rod holder. If Scotty or Brocraft is watching, or any other manufacturer of rod holders making these power lock system, I just want you to think of a way to make it so that these power lock systems actually work with spinning reels. And in my opinion, it's not even really that hard, because if you look at it, they put this notch before the lock. Why not just lower this notch down lower and move the power lock system up so that when your spinning reel sits, it actually sits below the power lock. I'm so surprised that no one has thought of this design, because it just seems so straightforward to me. Just move the lock up and move the seat down and you'll have a power lock system that works for both bait casters, bin casters, and of course spinning reels. It's not that hard, and it should be implemented in future designs. And there you have it. That was a quick comparison of the Scotty rod holder versus the Brocraft rod holder with power lock systems. If this video has helped me out, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Share this video, comment down below with your thoughts, or if you have any questions. Follow me on my social media at the Upper Left USA. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.